Hello and welcome back to Dwarf Fortress, Histories of Greed and Dynamism with Nightdagger. This is episode 3. Let's go ahead and, well, first of all, click into this window. Continue playing Woundomen. Wait for it to load here. I should probably start loading everything up before I start recording, because it's starting to take a while to load and it's only going to get worse as time goes on. But you know what? For right now, we don't really care. Alright, so last episode we got ourselves some beds here. We got ourselves some basic farming going. We got ourselves a section put up for basic food. This episode, what we're going to want to do... Oh, we got our meeting hall here too. So this episode, what we're going to want to do is we are going to want to start putting a mind towards some defense. We'll get some doors in this place. We'll put some traps up to ward off any early invaders. We also need to start thinking about trade. And I have a specific trick that I use for protecting my trade depots that has served me very, very well time and time again. So I'm going to fall back on that trick once more. For right now, though, what I need to do is I need to, first of all, let's go ahead and build our doors at the entrance of our fort. We'll make these both granite. Alright, we're also going to want to designate on these beds, or at least one of them. We're going to make this a bedroom that encompasses the whole size of the room, and we're going to turn this into a dormitory. This is going to be basically the dwarven flophouse, where everyone comes when they're tired and needs to get some sleep. The next thing we're going to want to do, and I'm going to connect it off of the central staircase here. And I'm going to have it run probably... How do I want to do this? I think what I might actually want to do... Yeah, I'm going to carve out a section of the mountain here. You know what? No, we're not going to do it there. We're going to carve... What I'm looking for is a place to put a trade depot. And the general idea, the reason why I'm looking so hard and not just doing it, is that if you have a specific place set up where it's the only way to get in there, then the trade caravan will use that route instead of any others. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of filter them into a place where they have to use this route because there's no other way to get there. And I think I'm going to want to do it right here. So let's think this out a little bit. If we have a 3 by 3 hallway in here, and then here we make this a 5 by 5. And then off of here we have a 3 by 3 coming down to here. And then we have this coming over to here. Will that work? That should do it. Now, for some reason, dwarves like to mine from the top left-hand corner. So if you have a large area designated like this, notice they went the whole way outside to start digging. Kind of annoying, but there isn't really a way around it either. Then we're also going to want to remove these ramps. We want to try and filter them in so that they have to come in this way. And then if we dig a little bit right there, that'll give the trade caravan a route to get in. Actually, we need to go a little bit more on that, don't we? Let's go to there. And that's going to give the trade caravan a route to get into my fort. Now we're also going to want to designate to remove the ramps down here, because we don't really want them taking this path. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to remove that, and then I want to remove the ramps. There we go. And then you notice I've got those upward ramps on the side there that are really annoying that it doesn't appear that I can do a whole lot about. Well, I can. I can do it by digging that. Once they remove that, it'll remove the ramp. And there we go. A trade caravan has to have squares that are 3 wide in order to access it. So right now, oh, we have migrants. Yes. We have migrants that are coming in right in the middle of a dingo pack. I guess it's a good thing dingoes aren't normally aggressive. Looks like we got a fairly good migrant wave too. They came in from probably one of the worst possible places on the map, but we got a good migrant wave. Alright, so now, oh, they're coming in the back door too. What the hell, guys? What the hell? But now, if we click into Dwarf Therapist, which I need to connect, when we read the dwarves, we now have 12, so our migrant grave was 5 dwarves. If we group these guys, we can actually group them by their migration wave. So wave 0 is our first 7 dwarves, and then wave 1 is the ones that we just got. So, what do we have here? This guy here is a novice leatherworker and dabbling in social. So he's pretty useless. Leatherworking is okay, but he doesn't have hardly any experience, so he's not great. The second one here is an adequate siege operator, so he is completely useless. The third one here is an adequate metalsmith. Now we're talking. He's pretty decent at metalsmithing, which is, it's not the really useful one, like it's not blacksmithing or armoring by any means, but it can be useful for making like cages and stuff. Urist here is a great presser and a expert social. What? He's useless too. And then Zulban here is an adequate grower, so he is a second grower for us. And what are these two doing? Constructing buildings? Oh, they're making the buildings for me. Okay. Excuse me for just a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so back into Dwarf Fortress. They're going to actually come up here and they're going to construct these buildings that I couldn't construct earlier because I didn't have anyone available to do it. While my miners are going to finish digging out this. And now I'm also going to want to dig out a small space here. Now, here is where things take a turn for the interesting. First of all, I'm going to build a trade depot. So B, capital D. We're going to put the trade depot right here. And we are going to build it out of dolomite, since dolomite is what we have the most of. We are also going to build a bridge. So B, G. Now this is one of those things that you have to define the height and width. So we're going to have it 3 high, and we're going to have it, say, 5 long. And we're going to start it right here. Now notice we also have a raise direction. If it is S, then when it's raised, it basically just goes away. but you can also set it so that it raises in a certain direction. We are going to set this so that it raises to the right. We're also going to build that out of dolomite. We're going to do that again over here. But this time it's going to raise to the left. We're also going to do that out of dolomite. And we're going to let the dwarves do the thing. My miners have nothing to do at the moment, so I'm going to give them something to do. We are going to come off of this side of the hallway, and we're going to dig a long tunnel. I'll come back and get the center slot later. This is just so that they don't get distracted while they're doing it. Now, if I hit damp stone located, yeah, this is because we've got that this in this case the lake over our head. This is annoying. I kind of wish there was a way to turn this off. It's nice that they warn you, but now I have to tell him to dig this designation, and every single time he comes across damp soil, damp stone or damp soil, he's going to stop and say, "I can't do it, boss. It's going to get wet." No, it's not going to get wet. If it was going to get wet, I would not let you do it. Have a little faith in your overseer. He's going to come up here and he's going to dig this next one and he's going to say, "Nope, can't do it." And "Nope, can't do it." So we're just going to let him come back here and clear this over here. And I'm out of plump helmet spawn. This would normally concern me, but right now it's not too bad. Let's click back into Dwarf Therapist, because we need a dwarf to start being a broker, or a record keeper for us. Does anyone already have record keeping skill? No? Nobody? Figures. Urist here, I think, is going to... Yep, Urist here is going to become my record keeper. So, he's the only Urist we have. We're going to hit N to bring up the noble window. We're going to come down here to the bookkeeper, and we are going to pick Urist as our bookkeeper. Notice he has a thing next to him now that says require. That means that he has a requirement that he either needs for his job or that he wants because of his rank that isn't being met. If we hit, let's see here. If we hit S, we can set his precision. We always want it to be at highest precision. Now his requirement is that he actually needs an office. See, holdings, no office, needs meager office. So, what we are going to do is we're going to give him an office. Now an office is designated off of a chair. The only place that we currently have chairs is the dining room. He doesn't care actually, so we're going to come over here and we're going to make this a study, just one space, and we are going to assign it to Urist. If we go back into the noble menu, you can see his requirement is now white. His requirement is being met so he can do his job. We're also going to want to set our broker. Our broker is going to be our expedition leader. This guy here does have better Judge of Intent skills. He has better Intimidator and Persuader, but he doesn't have any levels of Negotiator or Appraiser. So we are going to take this guy as our broker. Notice he doesn't have any requirements, so he's fine. He doesn't need an office or his own bedroom or anything like that. Our record keeper is going to go start updating the fortress records, and as he does that, you're going to see that our screen here gets more accurate. You can see now where it said earlier, I think we have about 100 drink left. Now we can see we have 84 drink left. we can see we're down to 6 meat, 29 fish, and 29 plants. We have 18 seeds. We have imported some wealth. That is the wealth that we originally brought with us. But we haven't exported any wealth. That's because there's no trade caravan yet. And if we come over here, well, no, we don't want to do that. If we go into stocks, we can see our exact stockpile of every type of item that we have in the fort. So, as of right now, we could actually disable him for now and tell him not to upkeep the records anymore because they're accurate enough. But we always want to keep it at highest precision because eventually we're going to start dealing with thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dwarf bucks worth of stuff. And we're going to need a way to keep track of it all. So he is going to be eternally our record keeper. He's useless for anything else anyway. He's just going to watch the books for us. Our dwarves up here have finished mining out most of this. What's up with my other miner? What's he doing? My other miner has no job. Why does he have no job? Is he on break? No, he's set to dig. Okay, he just got to work. Dig through it, you pansies. And yes, the game is pausing itself every single time they discover that one of the tiles that I've told them to dig is wet. Now they're through the wet area, so they're not going to complain about it anymore. We'll let them finish digging that out, and then we're going to have them come over here, and they're going to dig out a room right here. This is going to be my initial workspace. And there is another lake up there. I'm just going to let them cancel the designations for now. And then I'll come back and dig out the rest of this stuff later. You can see how fast they're going. That's a result of not only the fact that their mining skill is improving, but all of the heavy physical labor is making them stronger and faster and tougher. So now they know that all of this here is wet, so if I designate it to be dug out again, they won't complain about it anymore. It'll also start doing this once I get to playing around with lava. First dwarf got thirsty, so he went to go grab a drink. Second one is going to sit here and finish that. Someone pinged me on TeamSpeak, so excuse me for just a second here. Let's see, from Kozak, are you AFK or recording? Recording. "20 minutes left or so. Alright, and how is the work going on my bridges? I'm waiting for an architect. This one is active, this one is inactive, and this I need masonry. My mason is also my architect. Fun wants to know what I'm recording. Dwarf Fortress. So, my dwarf is now building that initial bridge. Kitten attack. Lily, leave the kittens alone. My little dachshund has decided that the kittens are extremely fun play toys, but she's so big and they're so tiny that sometimes she plays a little rough. That's what that little squeak that you just heard is. Alright, so I've got my little room here dug out. What I'm going to do with this little room, I'm going to build a workshop. In here, I am going to put my first mechanics workshop with T. I'm going to place it right there. I'm going to build it out of nice. Now, a mechanics workshop does absolutely no good if you don't have a mechanic. So let's pick one of these random wave dwarfs who was completely useless and make him a mechanic. The siege operator looks like a good choice. So he is now our mechanic. Also in this room, we are going to want to put another workshop. We are going to want to put a craft dwarf's workshop, which we are going to put down in this corner here. We're also going to make that out of nice. The craft dwarf's workshop is where you make stone crafts and like rock pots and other stuff like that. Rock pots are going to become very, very important in the near future. The bridge is almost done. Mechanic workshop is done. Yes. So we are going to add a new test. We are going to make rock mechanisms. We're going to need 4 of them to start. Now it doesn't matter what the mechanisms are made out of. They're just going to grab whatever stone happens to be most handy and make the mechanisms out of that. And here comes the dwarf with the stone to make the mechanisms. My mason is hard at work finishing up the trade depot up there, and if we hit Control D now, or Shift D, you're going to see that our depot is accessible. The wagons can reach it, so it's all good. Now we need to wait for him to finish that second bridge. We also need to wait for him to finish the mechanisms. And eventually my dwarves will get stronger and it'll be a lot easier and a lot faster for them to do this, but especially in the early part of the game, building things can take a long time because they're just so weak. Eventually they get stronger. Now I have 12 dwarves, so I don't have to expand my dormitory anymore right now, but I am probably going to want to start expanding my dining hall. So once my mason's done here, 5 tables for right now. You know what? 5 tables is okay for right now. The biggest thing that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to start getting some trade goods going. So I'm going to set, after my mason is done with this bridge, I'm going to tell him to make me some rock crafts. How many mechanisms do we have left to go? Just one? Good. Okay, we are going to build a trap component, so capital T, we're going to build a lever. This lever is going to go right here. We're going to make it out of a dolomite mechanism, and then we're going to do the same thing right here. And it has occurred to me that I'm actually going to need 2 more mechanisms. Excuse me for just a second again. Don't know why, but my throat's drying out already. I'm only about 25 minutes into the video and could already use a drink, but my mason's working there without a drink, so I shall persevere as well. There goes my cat to kill the dragonfly. Now we have to wait for the mechanic to finish making the mechanisms before he'll start making the levers and linking them up and everything. And right now it looks like he's going to go grab the mechanisms and start making them, the traps. Now here I'm only making a lever. So, I mean, he's going to go finish the mechanisms. No, he's not. What the hell is he doing? He's derping. He's going to go finish the other lever. There it is. This little overhang here is annoying the crap out of me. Let's make it go away. There we go. And now he's going to go finish that last mechanism. There goes our mason to finish the work. Or is he an architect? Or were they one and the same? I can't remember anymore. But we are going to query the lever, and we are going to add a new task on this lever. We are going to link it up to a bridge with B. We're going to link it up to this rough dolomite bridge here, and we're going to do it using two mechanisms. So now our mechanic is going to go get the first mechanism. He's going to haul it down here, and he's going to start attaching it to... I can't remember if they attach it to the bridge or the lever first. Actually, he's going to go grab a bite to eat first. Which is fine because it'll give the other one a chance to finish that bridge. Okay, that bridge is done. So we can queue up the task here. And he'll finish it as he gets to it. As far as traps, we don't really need any traps at the moment. We are going to want to put some traps out fairly soon, but I think the first thing that I want to do now, or the next thing that I want to do now, is check my stockpiles. How am I doing on drink? Drink is going down. Of course it is. I mean, they're drinking. They're not drinking water, so of course they're going to drink the booze. We have some plants that we've grown, so we are going to come over here to the still, and we are going to add the task to brew some drink. We're just going to queue it up 10 times for now instead of setting it on repeat because I don't want to use all of our plants. Okay, our mechanic is hard at work connecting the bridge. Now, the reason I do my trade depots this way is because the access to a trade depot from your fort is a natural security problem. If you have a trade depot outside your fort, then your dwarves have to leave the safety of the fort to reach it, which exposes them to sunlight, which if they're cave adapted is a huge problem because it makes them move slow, it makes them sick, it gives them unhappy thoughts. It's all sorts of bad for dwarves. If you have the trade depot inside the fort, you have to protect it, and now traps will not work. You can't put traps down your corridor leading into the trade depot because, well, wagons can't go over traps anymore. Which is a good thing because it helps discourage the use of traps and it encourages people to think some more. Now, the method I've been using still works. And this method has worked for me for ages, and I'm sure it'll continue working in the future. This is an airlock system. There's only one way into my trade depot, and it is through this side entrance. There are two bridges here. One bridge will always be up, one bridge will always be down. During normal fort operation, the inner bridge will always be closed. That way, nothing from the outside can get into my fort from that access point. They have to go through the front door and therefore through my barracks. Let's make that happen now. I'm going to add a new task to pull the lever. Since that's not a skilled task, the first available dwarf is going to come up, he's going to yank the lever, and that drawbridge is going to close. Right there. So any enemies that would be trying to sneak in the back door here now cannot get through here because of this bridge. When the trade caravan gets here, it has an access way to get into the trade depot, as you can see right there. It can get in. So the traders will get in there, they will unload their goods, and once all of the wagons have reached the trade depot, you come in and then you pull this lever, which seals it off entirely, and then you pull this lever, which allows access to inside of the fort. You then do all of your trading, haul out all of the goods, the whole 9 yards, and then once you are done, don't have to go back to the trade depot anymore. You pull this lever to seal them all in the nice little hole again, and then you pull this lever to open the door to the outside world. That way when they're done, they can leave at their own. They can leave whenever they want. The only people who will ever be at risk here are the traders. Because if the goblins attack them, they're going to hang out outside the door, and They might hang out long enough for me to open the trade depot again. Whatever. Another thing that this does is later on, when I start dealing with the elves, if the elves start pissing me off, I can hook up a lava vent to this, and I can seal them in the little hidey hole, and then I can flood the room and I can laugh as they burn to death. Nobody ever said dwarves were nice. So, I now have protection for the back entrance of my fort. I do not, however, have any crafting going on. So, do I have a stone crafter? Let's see here. Cooking. I don't have a stone crafter. Let's go ahead and make one of my relatively useless dwarves a stone crafter. What about this guy here? Or this girl here, I guess. The metalsmith? No. The grower? I already have a good grower. So I don't really need... I'm sure I'll get another better grower later, so this guy is going to be my stone crafter. We're going to commit that change, and we're going to have him start building that workshop for us. In the meantime, we're going to come up here to the kitchen, and we're going to add a task here. The task that we're going to add here is going to be to prepare a few easy meals. So my dwarf with cooking skill will come up here and we'll grab some of the raw ingredients and we'll come down and start brewing them. Or not brewing them, cooking them. I'm also going to want to get a butcher. I already have a tanner, but I need a butcher. So who's a likely candidate to be my butcher? Let's see. This guy is my leather worker. He's a likely candidate, I think. Yeah, let's make him the butcher. So you are now a butcher. And we'll resume this. We'll wait for the butcher to come up here and build the workshop for us. It has started raining. And one last thing that I want to do this episode is I want to start an exploratory mine. I think I'm just going to start it on this level right here. The way I usually do exploratory mines is I dig a series of long, shallow shafts. Usually straight through the center of my stairway, from one side to the other. And then lengthwise like this. And then skipping every 2, I put another vertical line. Why 2? Because if you dig this out and you dig this out, you can now see both sides of the wall here. So you will see absolutely everything that's there. You can actually space this out a little more because ore and all of the good stuff, the only thing that really spawns in small clusters is gems. So if you dig in larger chunks, you might miss some gems now and then, but you'll hit most of the big stuff. You'll hit all of the veins, you'll hit all of the stuff that you're really interested in. So I think what I'm going to do in order to conserve labor is I'm actually going to do that this time. So I'm going to space it out to every 6, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really? Come on. Oh. Will help if I set my designation back to mine, huh? Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is boring, but And the stuff on the end there, we're not going to care too much about. Now, or do I want to do it in blocks of 10? I think I want to do it in blocks of 10. I'm changing my mind again. Because blocks of 10 are going to be easier to designate. Because what I can do with a block of 10 is set that for designate, and let's clear the designation here. What I can do here is, starting from here, I can come the whole way up here, and I can just shift and move that way. And then I can just page down, come to here, and just do it like this. It's going to make designating this a lot easier. And then if I need to get a better view of it later, I can just dig a shaft down the middle of it. But this will also leave a nice lattice work that I can turn into rooms later if I so choose. Finish designating this, let my dwarf start mining it. And we'll go get some crafts going here. That actually worked out pretty nice. It's right near the end. Yeah, we'll be able to see everything on that wall. So that worked out well. And then here, starting from there, we're going to come up to there. Because we don't want to breach the security of the cave. And here we'll just put one more here. And then we are going to dig another shaft right like that to connect those. Down here, we're just going to do this. And then we'll put a vertical shaft there too. That one a little too far, but alright, and we'll let our dwarves get to mining. They're going to start digging these shafts out. This is also going to uncover a ton of bituminous coal for me. Autumn has come. With autumn always comes the first trade caravan. So once our crafts dwarfs workshop is done, we need to get cracking on some crafts. We're going to do add new task. We're going to make crafts out of rock. We're going to make rock crafts, and we're going to set that task to repeat by pressing R. Basically what this means is that our crafts dwarf is going to come here and he's going to repeat this task over and over and over until he either runs out of materials or has something better to do. Or dies. You know, one of the above. So he's going to come here and he's going to start carving rock down into small little trinkets, which I will be able to use to store stuff. I'm also going to want to come up here to my carpenter's workshop and I'm going to want to make a few bins. A for add new task, and then N is a bin. Let's say 6 of them to start. Sounds good. We've struck amethyst. We'll come down here and take a look and see what our dwarves are up to. Looks like they're mining along perfectly fine. They struck another vein of bituminous coal. So there's a ton of bituminous coal on this map. I'm actually pretty happy about that. Now if we can just get some iron. If not, I'm quite sure with goblins being close by that Goblin Christmas will come sooner or later, where Goblin Claus comes and brings Goblinite to all the good little dwarves that they can then use to make iron. Alright, 40 minutes in, seems like a good place to stop. I'm actually going to let this run for a little bit. Actually, no, I'm not, because I want to be recording when the trade caravan gets here, and it's not going to take too long, so I'm just going to call it quits here. This has been Nightdagger with Let's Play Dwarf Fortress Woundomen, Episode 3, and next time we will continue the hunt for iron. Probably get some more migrants in, maybe get one or two useful ones in the group there, do some trading with the trade caravan, and if we get lucky and strike some metal, we may actually start some basic metal working. But we'll see what happens. I'll catch you guys later.